This is audition.
Down booth.
But
It's a Adobe though, right?
a little bit different. I mean, you do a lot of the same things.
I know the sound booth, because I got sound booth.
Learn that because it is a little bit different.
Oh, okay.
You guys ready?
Yeah.
Ready.
Okay, so sometimes the computers can end up like this. Look, just click on RTV-11. Even if you're more advanced, like for next semester, just make sure, just click on RTV-11 folder. And things pops up. So your Adobe Edition is down right here. We'll just click it. Just wait till it opens. The first thing, and okay, for you guys folder on the desktop it says Spring 2013. Just open that up, and you should find your RTV class, and each of you guys should have a folder. And pretty much just right click and then just hit new and then folder and just type in your name. Just put folder and just rename the new folder. If you need help doing that, just let me or Chris know, or whoever the front upstairs to help you to make a folder. But always make sure you're making your own folder, that you could always save your stuff in that folder, because you don't want to be saving on other people's folder, because that's going to cause chaos for people.
Leave this folder on this computer?
Yeah. You could always make a copy if you have your own flash drive or hard drive.
But we keep one on here, right?
Yeah, that you know, because let's say you don't have Audition at home, but you want to continue working here. Yeah. So now your Adobe Audition is open. The first thing you do is hit the R button, the red, and this thing pops up. It says Save Session As, and so you go back to your Spring 2013 and go to your folder. I'm just gonna create one. So you could save whatever folder you want, and so you should be ready. You could already know that your mic's getting picked up. It's right here. If you don't see this coming up, this should share mic. For your mic 1, it says mic 1. Don't worry about the other mics because we only have one, but if you have more than one, this is your second microphone. This is your master volume. This is the one you pretty much want to be controlling. Yeah, as long as you can see this, then you know that it's picking up. Sometimes if you don't see your microphone get picked up, you go to your master volume, you will see like a speaker icon at the bottom. Double click it, this thing pops up. Just go to your option, properties. But if you don't have to do this, just let me, Chris, or whoever upstairs know, and we could always figure out ourselves. And make sure your line in is always in, not the microphone, but the line in. So, do ready?
They run into a lot of problems with the 41,000 gigahertz thing. You want to go with that?
So it should be, it's the other room that's been so when you're ready to record, just hit this, on the VCR controls, you will see like a red dot, that's your record button. So hit that, so check one, mic check, you see it. And for your first time, you always want to make sure you're right level, that you don't want to peak so loud and later on to go too soft. Just find your natural sound when you're recording your podcast or your radio air check. See how that's good level? Okay. And there you go. Now to hear the playback, Chris, turn it back on. You also want to make sure when you record, have your speakers off, or else you're going to have the double when you come back in. So disarm it, just click it back and make sure there's no red. Just play with that. So check one, mic check, you see it? And for your first time, you always want to make sure you're right level. Okay, so now when you want to do, let's say you're doing a podcast and you stop. Okay, you can tell me again. You want to continue. You could just move your the red arrow, the red line, to like somewhere there. You don't have to actually find where you stop or where you stop. You can do it like that and just continue again and redo it again. Because once you start editing, you could always move it wherever you want. And you could even record the second layer, and you don't want to hear the first, just mute it, or just hit the solo, and you would just hear whatever you will hear only the part that you want to hear. We got a couple of we got a couple songs in here. Just look at the song file or folder, and you see it. There's different ones. But let's say you're ripping off your audio, or your tracks from your CD. You just pop it up on the first one, and then if you guys know how to rip your music, you know. And then wherever your music folder is going to end up being on the folder on the desktop says unknown artist. Just click on that. Let's say this is the one that we ripped off. So just double click this. You'll see your song. That's why I say your folder is always like your main one, because you don't want to be saving it on someone else's folder, and you end up being missing. So also with your flash drive, make sure everything's always on your folder. Because let's say you didn't bring your flash drive, but you want to continue with your air check. Once you open Adobe Edition, if your track's not on the folder itself, it's going to consider missing files. It's only flash drive, not on the computer. So that's why I would say you always want to make sure you save a copy of your tracks, everything in that folder. Okay. Just pretend this is going to be like a instrumental. So let me use that. We're going to use it. So just minimize. You could do on this thing, on the files area, it will say import file. You could click on that and find your songs. Let's say it's on your flash or your folder, you could do that. Let's say songs. And then so just drag it. You know, a lot of music artists, they always want to use the top part for the instrumental part. So you could do that. So now you should hit that. So check one, mic check, see it. And for your first time, you always want to make sure you're right now.
Baby, I know you're hurting right now, but don't worry.
And you could just turn it off, and we could give you headphones so you could just listen to the instrumental while you're recording. You could do your, especially for the air checks. There's how to do your fade in. Don't worry about what I'm doing. You'll see like on the top of the tracks, you'll see like a gray square. Once you look at it, especially if you can't see in front of the back, you'll see it, and then you'll see like 4 arrows. You slide it down, you'll see like this. So that's your fade in. You could also do that as your fade out too. So I'm gonna just. And what I'm doing right now is just making the song short. You could do that, or you could just cut it, slice. To slice it, let's say you just want that part. So you just right click and hit split. And so now you split this off. So now you say you don't want that. But you still have the whole thing, just double click this and just re-put it in. So yeah, everything.
One spot and right click.
Yeah, and that's more like for recording ones. So let's just speak on. So you hit that. So check one, mic check, see it. And for your first time, you always want to make sure your right level it's gonna fade out. That you don't want to peak so loud and later on go too soft. Just find your nap. So that's your fade and fade out. So now you're gonna let's say this is your tracks you want to use. Go make sure you save it. You can file, save, session. Go to save it. So go file, export, audio mixdown. Make sure it's saved as type as an MP3 Pro, not a WAV or anything else. And it's just make sure it's MP3. All the settings on the side should be default, so you don't worry about changing anything. And like I say, see, most likely you'll say save in RTV-11 or in your folder. Most of the time it's not, so always make sure you always look in what folder is saved as. Save in Marc. This is me. You can take out the mix if you want. You can name it however you want to. Save. There you go. So you hit that. So check. Anything else? That's your rundown. And Chris will go in depth with each one.
If you wanted to, let's say the music you have is not like a radio edited version, and you want to edit some of the 4-letter words, how would you do that?
So you, a lot of people like to use the reverse. Okay, I'm gonna.
Don't worry.
Say, let's say that was, he cuts that. You could go effects, hit reverse,
Okay.
and then go.
Here I want. I'm
Oh,
your
God, never died. I thought, no, bro. No. Thank you for that question, man. Thank you, bro.
You could go effects again. Let's go reverse, or you could cut that out. Whatever. But I like using reverse. Or then you, if you want, you have like sound effects. You could insert that as your.
There's all this sound effects.
Yeah, kind of. Take me to often.
There's sound effects if you want to use on the desktop. Just look for the SFX, and this is all your pretty much your stinger, your breaks and stuff for you.
Or that.
Yeah, this is for more like radio wise, but making promos you probably will need it. So
It's got a double audition. It's got Reaper too.
so
Do all that
with
now.
this. Later on, stuff. So hit that. So check my check. See anything done. And for your first time, you always want to make sure
You glad you sat in the front?
later on go to something. Find your natural sound, and there's all different ones you could use. And always make sure you made a copy. Also, the sound effects. Make sure you save a copy on your folder, or you could just leave it on the S. For which no, they just
want to add the sound after you already saved it as, like now you got that noise in the
oh yeah, so you just
Save
keep on
as.
just save
Yeah,
save
just
session.
save.
Yes. And say yes. And it pops up. Boom, there you go. Anything else?
Let's do it. Give it up for Marc. Yeah.